It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Mariam Longe. How are you today?
Fine. It's the aftermath of your beautiful event on Saturday. We had such a lovely time.
Glad.
I mean, all the people that came to honor you, I was so happy and proud of you.
Thank you.
It was so exciting to be there. Honestly, I felt like it was my party. I introduced to people the behind the scenes. The outfit I wore. People would have heard Miriam was murdered by her dress.
Are you serious?
That corset. I almost died. I told my driver, back on the road. We parked on the express. I got down and untied the corset. I'm like, me.
For real?
Yes, I was feeling dizzy in the car. Like,
are you serious?
Yeah. I was like, take it out. I took it out. Got there. The venue, I called Aggie, and she came and she just lightly, like I would have died. I was going to Mariah's party.
This is our wardrobe. So I had a training, Founders Leaders Innovative Program, a real estate retreat at a hotel, and everybody was in class. And I was going to wear a very dramatic outfit. I needed nobody to help me dress up. So I wore boo-boo, carried my outfit in a bag, got to the venue and was calling Ada, I cannot wear my dress by myself. I did, where are you? So that somebody will help me to dress up. Someone saw me leaving the hotel. I said, I'm going to a party. And you're looking like, I said, I need somebody to dress me up. He said, what do you mean by you need someone to dress you up? I said, you cannot understand. We want to lace the back and cinch the waist. You cannot, as in, my mother said that I cannot see why women don't find it easy to repeat their outfit. It's so elaborate that you just want to wear it once. I feel like you can't wear it again. But it was a beautiful event. I was happy to see your brother. I enjoyed his speech.
I haven't even seen it. I haven't heard it. I'll go back and watch the whole thing.
He has this very interesting sense of humor. Like, it tells a story, and I just remembered it was just so interesting to listen to him. You should go back.
I'll take our time and watch it.
It was a beautiful event. I had fun. I ate the little I could. I didn't cinch as they did anyway, but
I know I wasn't cinch, so I ate. I ate well.
I enjoyed.
And I took home food.
For real?
I ate it yesterday.
Are you kidding? Yes, I took home food for my kids as well. So we had fun. It was a good thing to see you shine. It was your moment. It was your day. It was glorious. It was I know her mind was everywhere. And so when I came, Mariah was everywhere. All of a sudden, she started sweating. I said, Auntie, please, can you sit? Do you need me to help you do anything? But it was your day and it was beautiful. And I'm happy that a lot of people came out to really support you. Yeah.
Thank you to all who came out. I was really happy to I was just worried initially because I was trying to make it, my husband was insisting we make it strictly by invitation, but I knew that lots of people wanted to be there.
Yeah.
I wanted to open it up. So I was like wondering that I hope it won't be too crowded and all, but I'm thankful that it was a good event. And I'm grateful to all of you that the governor sent, the deputy governor showed up. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Governor. I appreciate you being there. All the other special guests that came in, many who sent their reps. And then to my chief launcher, Chief Razak Okoya, sent his brother and his son to come. I really appreciate everybody. God bless you. Thank you. So the next 10 years.
Yes. And then the book. You need to read it.
Oh, yeah. The book is fantastic. It's a good story. It's a good story.
You wrote it well. And you wrote it honestly.
Lots of people, some people say they cried, they laughed, lots of the experience. It's a good story. And I just wanted to encourage Nigerians to tell their real stories. Tell your real stories. Nigerian young people need to hear your real stories. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So, wondered behind the curtains of a man's mind. Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the black table.
As bulldozers roar in Alaba, Ohanes cautions against fake news. I was poisoned in 2018, says Wike. Investors gained 3.28 trillion in 3 weeks. South African displaces Dangote as Africa's richest. Banks tighten forex process to block racketeering. And overloading windy rain cause of Kwara boat tragedy. Okay, which story are we taking?
Should we talk about our uncle?
Oh, yeah.
Our uncle is not #1 anymore, but he's still a billionaire. Anyway, so they say the President Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has been overtaken as African richest man after his net worth dropped by 20.7%. And this was as a result of the devaluation of our naira. They said that Dangote's wealth dropped by $2.80 billion to $10.7 billion from $13.5 billion, costing him the richest man position for the first time since 2008. The person who overtook him is a South African billionaire called Johan Rupert, and so he has a net worth of, his own net worth increased by 1.3 billion, moving him from 10.7 billion to 13.5 billion. I'm saying that billionaires, no matter how many billions they lose, they're still billionaires. Yes, for us, we just...
Okay.
And everybody's just one policy away from either losing or gaining.
Let me talk about the demolition. Lagos State yesterday began the demolition of 17 distressed structures in Alaba International Market. And obviously, lots of fake news started saying that Lagos State was actually the government was actually trying to target Igbo residents in Lagos, or victimize Igbo residents in Lagos. But actually, general manager of the Lagos Building Control Agency, that's Mr. Gbolan, he said that these structures had to be demolished because they've sent notices about 6 to 7 years ago, since as far back as 2016, 2020, and 2022, and several other issues this year to remind all the owners of those buildings that they will be pulled down. Ohanes Ndigbo has also sent a message across saying that people should stop spreading the propaganda, or especially media houses stop spreading the propaganda, that this was a direct intention to victimize Igbos within Lagos. According to their own investigation, the reliable information showed that the directive was not related to plazas and shops, and that the issue of it being victimization is fake and propaganda meant to raise tension and cause dissatisfaction between the Igbos and Lagos and their Lagos hosts. There's nothing of such. I
saw the buildings. It wasn't looking good at all. Any reasonable human being would not want to be in those structures. They really looked bad. And they've been sending them, this one is from 2016. They sent another one in 2022. You know, they kept sending. And one of the reasons they didn't add it to the 340-something houses they wanted to demolition was the fact that they could not even ascertain the level, because anytime they go there, those people attack the officials. It's just, so as a result of the action taken at the Extraordinary Bankers Committee on Friday, deposits into withdrawal from the foreign currency accounts are now open. This is according to the Central Bank of Nigeria. So they are saying that a domiciliary account holder can now make daily transfer not exceeding 10,000 or its equivalent. The banks are to provide returns to the CBN, including the purpose for such transactions. Now, ordinary domiciliary account holders shall have unfettered and unrestricted access funds into their account. Domiciliary account holders are permitted to utilize cash deposits not exceeding 10,000 per day or its equivalent via telegraphic transfer. They also, said that one of the reasons they are doing this and having these policy changes is to promote transparency, liquidity, and price discovery in the foreign exchange market in order to prove or to improve forex supply, discourage speculation, enhance customer confidence, and ensure stability in the FX market. So people are no longer afraid of having to be able to take their dollars out of their account or be able to pay their dollars. And even businesses.
It didn't make sense.
You could only transfer inflow. You can't even do anything.
You can't do anything. You can't get any amount. I just wish the dollars would be available when you want to withdraw. That may be another thing.
But now that you can even transfer it, hopefully to...
I want to take the story of former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. he said that
Camille Governor Wike is now former
governor.
That's nice.
But
I feel that we will not hear the last of him, no matter what.
Go ahead.
It was a major Thanksgiving. You know, he was doing a Thanksgiving, thanking God for his life, and he shared a lot of story. He had several near-death experiences. He said that in 2018, he was poisoned. He was poisoned to the point where he had most of his organs shut down. He thought he was going to die, and after a while, let me first mention that the president was represented by the governor of Lagos State at the Thanksgiving. There were about 35 members of House of Representatives present at the Thanksgiving, as well as the Senate president, all celebrating with him, and he was doing a breakdown of all that happened to him in the 8 years, that it was turbulent getting him to become the governor of Rivers State, and it was almost turbulent all through. Many people assume that when you're a politician and you have this position, all is well with you, but that wasn't the case for him, aside from being poisoned. After he was poisoned, he couldn't even go to any party member's house because he happened at the party secretariat. So he was suspecting everyone. He could not eat at anybody's place. Imagine that kind of life of fear. And then he mentioned how the plane he was traveling with, the engine exploded, and he had to do a U-turn back to Port Harcourt, how his wife got cancer just before contesting for presidential elections. Like, a lot of things happened, and he's truly grateful to God that he is alive right now, and we're grateful to God for your life as well.
Okay, the punch. Quickly, subsidy, Labour threatens strike, resumes talks with FG. NDLA Labs, Qatar-based drug barons, seizes cannabis. 8 feared killed as flood submerges Lagos community. Operator overloaded ill-fated boats with 250 passengers, says NIWA. Ship owners reject proposed Nimasa Customs merger. NUT lambasts governors as teacher shortage rises. CBN removes saving withdrawal limits on domiciliary accounts. And power projects, FG secures $750 million World Bank loan. All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we do the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Gentlemen, first member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni, Yeni, Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger!
Take it.
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you.
Are you sure?
Ha. I'm not here to answer questions, I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
Eh?
I said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75. Fellas wasn't even born till 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Russian.
No be half.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint.
Lights in no. Nepa Road. Nepa Road in Abeokuta.
First of all, my brain cannot memorize everything.
A big black bug.
A big black dog.
Bug. A big black bug.
Oh, sorry. A big.
It don't start.
Ọmọ fẹlá. Ọmọ Anikulapo Kuti. Wọ́n rò pé kíní kékeré yìí.
It's by Audison. It's not by Audison. aka Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
subterfuge.
Such a feud.
SUBTERFUGE.
So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become for such. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so let's review Punch. I was going to start with the NDA story. Two cartel-based drug barons were arrested by the NDLEA, Eya Namdi and Ugo Oluchukwu. Oluchukwu was actually first arrested on his way out in Doha. They realized that he was using an Ivorian passport with the name Hein Nasese. And when with further scrutiny on his carry-on luggage, they found 2 parcels of crystalline substance that tested positive for meth, weighing about 1 kg. Further investigation led them to another gentleman in Enugu. His name is Murphy, and he found out his name actually was Eya Celestin Namdi, who also lived in Indonesia for about 6 years, and he's been working. He's like the main drug baron in Enugu that works with this gentleman in Qatar. Yes. Sorry?
He's not a gentleman.
Okay, that's a gentleman. And then also, they also arrested another lady, Ikwebe Ori, in Kaduna, following her alleged attempt to use forged documents to purchase and distribute 6 cartons of pentazocine injection with 22,000 ampules. She confessed that she used fake documents from a Kaduna hospital to order the drug, which she planned to distribute in Kaduna and Abuja and Sokoto. And these are all fake drugs. Really, really sad. It's a real industry that needs to be tackled head on.
Yeah, we also have another sad story. They said the whereabouts of a yet-to-be-identified mother, her baby, and 6 other persons, including a man identified simply as Omar, has been reportedly been unknown after a flood happened in Agege area of the state. So the flood happened on Thursday after the heavy downpour, and it overran a canal around the abattoir area in Agege, leveled up to the bridge, making it very impossible for passerbys and motorists to find their way to their destination. So according to the story, they said a tricycle man who was alone in his own vehicle entered into the flood, but he was able to escape, but then he lost his tricycle. Another tricycle having about 5 passengers entered into that flood and they disappeared. They were not able to rescue any of them. Another woman who was walking along the road when the flood started had a baby on the back, and the flood carried her. When somebody saw that had happened, a gentleman jumped in trying to save the woman and her baby, and 3 of them were swept away. So they are still searching for their body. They have not been able to find any of them. They are still missing at the time of the report. And the government is saying that they need to keep resensitizing people about flooding. So when you see that a flood is happening, that's not the time. Just stop and stay wherever you are. That's not the time to get into the flood. A lot of people still do not have that information. Just a painful one.
Yes, I have NUT lambast governors as teacher shortage rises. So there's a report that many states are currently battling with a shortage of teachers, as those who have retired have not been replaced through regular recruitment. The national president for NUT, Mr. Titus Amba, says that many governors have shunned the advice that, as teachers are retiring, they should be replaced using a proper and regular recruitment. They said a good number of teachers have left the service. Until now, there's no plan to replace them. And that's why the NUT also fought for the elongation of the service so that it would cushion the effect of sudden retirement. They said that they are pleading with these governors, to listen to them and do what is needed. They also said that many states were named, that were affected by that, were the worst affected, but it says it's everywhere. And also concerning the different subjects, it says different subject teachers are retiring yearly, and there are no teachers to take up from where they have left. They say public, primary school, secondary school. So it's just all across board. They said that between 2022 and 23, no fewer than 1,500 teachers retired without replacement. Does not make sense. Then we have some reaction from the state governments. They said in Delta State, the former governor, Hon.Akarachi, had employed teachers before leaving office, and they were taken to the rural areas because that's where most of the shortages are. Yeah. Most of these teachers found their way, left these rural areas, and went back to urban centers. Yeah. So it's a two-way thing. Some of them do not like to be in those places. Yeah. It's such a huge, long report, so I think people should read up on it.
I want to take the story about the NIMASA and the ship owners custom merging. The President, Bola Tinubu, has been getting advice from his Policy Advisory Council, and they recommended a state of emergency be declared on the revenue generation within the country. They proposing FIRS, that's for tax, NCS, that's customs, and NIMASA be merged into the Nigerian Revenue Service in order to enable efficient collection of direct and indirect taxes on behalf of the federal government. Now, there is a group of indigenous ship owners under the aegis of Ship Owners Association of Nigeria, and they have kicked against the proposed merger of NIMASA and Nigerian Customs and FIRS together, that this is not acceptable, that they know the president wants to get advice, but he should also consult with stakeholders within the industry. Speaking on behalf of them is the president of SWAN, Mr. Oyong. He said that NIMASA is an international body. It is not a Nigerian organization alone. It is an international, it's under the, it's an instrument of the International Monetary Organization, under the auspices of United Nations. It is not generating money for Nigeria. It is generating money to manage. The manage is not local. It is international managed aviation industry. So they have a lot to say concerning how NIMASA is too important to merge with another.
If money is passing through that NIMASA, and that money that can be used for Nigeria also. So if the president is saying, if I have money leaking from there, if I have money leaking from NCS, and I have money, merge it and I can monitor it properly, because right now it's about revenue. We need to go away from
They are proposing that if they do that, that Nigeria will be sea blind, because NIMASA is a security agency as well. So I think that it's important that they are brought in so that they can express themselves, and maybe they will get the answers they need before the policy then takes effect.
Okay, Nigerian Tribune, CBN lifts cash deposits cap on domiciliary accounts. More felicitations as Eze Anaba emerges NGE president. Bandits kill father, 4 sons in Zaria, Russell, 100 cows. Disclose pension paid to you as ex-governors, Serap tells Akpabio others in 10th Senate. Lagos government begins demolition of 17 distressed buildings in Alaba. I was poisoned, flown to Beirut, suffered kidney, liver failure, says Wike. FG malls asset rationalization, sale of refineries. Saudi Arabia announces June 27th, Arafat Day, and police deploy mobile policemen to troubled Plateau local government. Okay, which story?
I have a story from, they said suspected bandits on Saturday night at about 10 p.m. in Dorei, I think I'm pronouncing it right, village in Zaria local government. They killed the traditional title holder, the Ado of Birni and Kiwe of Zazzau Emirate. They said the bandits came in, they brought the man out from his room, shot him twice in the head, he died instantly. Then they went around the compound, that's the wife now giving the account, and shot her 4 sons. These men, her children are married with children. One of them survived, and he also said the bandits on their way out of their compound shot 2 other people. And they rustled their cows, about 100 of their cows, and, and they left. The police command says it's not aware of the incident as of the time of this report.
So I want to take the story from Serap. We mentioned it, but I'm happy that Serap has taken a legal action. The Serap is Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and 13 other former state governors in the 10th Assembly to disclose the amounts they are getting as pension. He said that they should follow many things, but they should follow the example of the Senator Saraki, Senate President Bukola Saraki, that said it was wrong for him to collect, and he didn't collect while he was within the Senate. He didn't collect it. He said Nigerians expect you to act in public interest, including by ending the collection of any life pension from your respective states, and return such pensions that have been collected to the Treasury. Collecting life pension as a former governor while in the Senate would clearly violate constitutional provision and will amount to taking advantage of entrusted public positions. And I totally agree with that. The letter was sent on June 3rd. They said if they don't get any information a week from June 3rd, they will take legal actions to find out if money was actually being paid from the states to these senators and what should be done to that payment.
Okay, that's story in Tribune. Let me take, following the sighting of the crescent moon, the month of Hajj, the 12th month of June. So it's been said from Saudi Arabia that June 27th as Arafat Day, which means that June 28th is going to be Eid al-Kabir. I mean, many Muslims are getting ready for the celebration. Hajj rites will commence on Monday, June 26th, when Nigerian pilgrims already in the Holy Land will join their counterparts around the world to move to Muna, the 10th city, from where they will converge on Mount Arafat, also called the Jabal Rama, which is compulsory aspect of the pilgrimage. It's the fifth pillar of Islam, and it's something that has to be done. And I'm really happy, and we hope that they have a good pilgrimage as they've all planned to go to Hajj this year. Any other story? Let's move on quickly if we have time.
Points. The
point, sack fever grips APC, NWC members. Man shot dead while trying to resolve couple's quarrel. Wow. Bukachua's rare confession exposes rot in Nigeria's judiciary. Sexual harassment by employers forced me into shoemaking, says female cobbler. Okay?
Yeah, so a middle-aged man identified as Amos Akba had been killed while trying to settle a quarrel between a couple in Zekboro village in Onitsha Ibueze community, Onitsha local government area of Ebonyi State. And the victim is a motorcycle mechanic. He was shot dead by the man Sunday Akba Mwamahi, who was fighting his wife. So they had come to, get them settled. The man got upset and walked away, and then they left. After a while, they decided to take his wife back to him, packed her things and took her back to her husband's house and tried to settle them. But then he came out from where he was hiding with a gun and shot. So we don't know who the gun was targeted at, but it landed on one of his relatives, and the man died. The man is a family man. He has his own wife and children, and he lost his life just trying to settle their quarrel.
Okay. The Guardian, we have to run right now, but there was a story that caught my attention. Forced over bill to regulate Christian preaching. It's an interesting proposition, but
let's read about it.
We'll read about it some other time and find out more information. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Benga Dainka the first. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Benga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the questions.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata, I go drink. So.
Okay. So now one chance for Inter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this, because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? I think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking, because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I don't
overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink them.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalking.
That's good talking.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, actor, producer, ambassador of Edo people, we have Etinosa Idemudia in the building.
Don't be first to go police station, they win the case.
Let's
So
see.
you are showing yourself.
I go see as my second
You are
question.
feeling like a contact the prancing peacock. I'm about to cut your wings. Hello? Now, in the amalgamation of 1914, who was the woman who drew the line of the amalgamation? Who cut the report? Who is the person that used scissors? What is his name?
That woman.
You have done me dirty. I've marked your face. I've marked your face. If anything happened to me today,
I don't
if I don't reach my house. Anyway, I'm gonna be chauffeured, so.
You remember now, Abby? Yeah, but you never too thin. Now you remember.
Hey.
If a person who indulges habitually in watching a sexual material is called a voyeur.
That's what they're called.
You clearly say you don't go even get the next one.
Hey, a voyeur.
Voyeur.
Then go on.
What is a person who makes one
A
call?
voyeur. A voyagiste. A bon voyage.
Okay, thanks for staying with us. So yesterday, June 18th, was Father's Day, and many men across the world, many fathers were expecting gifts, celebration, and some love and tender care from their families. Some got it, others didn't. But what are your thoughts on Father's Day? Although many have, there's been a long complaint that Father's Day have about 2 or 3 events this in a year. Father has only one. Fathers only have one, and this one is some of them will expect that we make it special. Some celebrities have complained that their spouses didn't do anything for them. I mean, ours was quite interesting in my neighborhood, but I mean, what are your thoughts on Father's Day, and how did you celebrate Father's Day? Is the conversation we'd like to talk about this morning. So yesterday, the community women in my house, they planned it. So unfortunately, because I had a party, so they didn't involve me, but they planned it. I just got the brief of what to do. Mariah paid this amount of money to contribute. We contributed and we participated. So the kids were all asked to write a poem for their dad each, and then they made pepper soup. They made grilled turkey.
That's the children?
No, the mummies.
Okay.
So then they got the fathers together. We put a table and they put a chair around all the fathers to sit down, and the kids were all coming one by one to read their poems for their dad. And I recorded each. It was really, really emotional. I mean, they hugged their daddies. Some were crying of what their daddy had done for them. I mean, there was some girl just going on and on. I'm like, oh my goodness, your father must have really instilled information in your head. You know, she was so amazing. So it was a beautiful experience. And after that, we all had pepper soup and had fun. You know, we're chilling till like past 10. You know, but
I think
yeah, so that was a
did
good.
something, and
so we did something for Father's Day. It was really interesting.
This community is. Let me move into your community.
I think they're really interesting.
Yes, I just also want your community showed up for you on your.
Oh yes, they did.
Amazing
Showed up and showed out.
Yes.
Showed up and showed out.
They did.
Yes.
Special news, we are coming.
So for me, it was first of all, of course, the schools have been sending messages, you know, to celebrate fathers. But my daughter, as usual, that girl is just amazing. I always say she's a special blessing to my family. Because if all my children were like my son and I, it would be a very boring house. So she had done, her father has been out of town for a while, and he came in late last night. But before he came in, she made a crown. A small crown, wrote my father, my king, and blah, blah. She put it somewhere. She made a box, a treasure box that had a gift inside. And she made another box. And then she wrote out, so it was a treasure hunt for him. So when he came in, he had to read it. First, he would look for the crown. He went, he found his crown. He wore his crown. Then he walked, found his box that had the mug, daddy's mug. Then he went in and found another one that had cake in it. And then had to go and find her. He found her, and they were hugging. And she was just amazing.
She planned it all
herself. Had no input. The only thing was I had to just make sure he saw the paper and start the treasure hunt. And he came in quite late. She stayed up for him. So it was lovely.
That's sweet. So sweet. Thank God that the two of you have gifts, because I have no gifts.
We don't have.
We didn't do anything for Father's Day.
So I wished my husband happy Father's Day. And I made my children to do a voice note for their grandpa to wish him happy Father's Day. And because I've heard this beautiful story from both of you, I will compensate my husband and father. I actually do have an amazing father. And you know, they say that when appreciate them while they are alive. And I just, hearing all of this and thinking about it, I'm like, I really should have, you know, done better, you know, and make him feel like, because that's the opportunity to appreciate and make him know that, oh.
You know, I'll come to BC because a lot of videos I was watching saying that fathers are just seen as ATM machines. You know, they don't have a shoulder to lean on. It's just about what mommy wants, what kids want, what the office needs. They're constantly thinking of the next big thing. But when they need that time to just calm down, it's like nobody's there for them to lean on. So let me come to you.
That's our case in Jesus' name. I am there every day for him to lean. So first of all, I didn't know yesterday was Father's Day.
In what part of the world?
I was not aware. So he woke up in the morning. He decided he had to go to church with the kids because I had to beg him to release me. I had to do some product shoot. I had new hairs that I was going to launch, and the hairstylist hardly has time for me. So when he said he would be able to come that Sunday, I just had to lock everything down. I said, I have to do this before, you know, we start planning other things. And so they came back home. It was when he got back that he came with a gift, not for me, a parcel. I was like, I said, his mother gave him something for Father's Day. I said, yeah. Today is Father's Day. Oh my God, I didn't know. You know, I just told him Happy Father's Day and all that. So what I do, which is, I'm not big on all of these celebrations because sometimes I may not even remember. But I try to appreciate him on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Even if he doesn't celebrate Mother's Day, he doesn't celebrate me on Mother's Day, he celebrates every day. So it's not like it's an opportunity to now make him feel special. I try my best with the resources available to me and my, you know, mental space and mental health to appreciate him, because I know that he's an amazing, amazing man. Like, if I have to do this again, I'm going to choose him. And my father, on the other hand, is, you people know his story already. I just, from time to time, he was a father and a mother at the same time, and he did his best. So I would find my way to compensate him later.
I'd like to actually invite our callers. So if you're a father and you got something special yesterday, please call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. We'd like to hear your own story. And if you're a daughter, you did something for your father, please call and we'd like to hear your lovely stories. But while we're doing that, who is a great father? I mean, because let's have that conversation. You know, people always think that it's all about the money he provides. It's always all about he just being paying for school fees, paying for rent, buying us a house, a car. That's when the child sees a father, that's all they're thinking. You know, the amenities he's able to provide for us to make life easier for us. But sometimes they don't realize that a father too needs love. A father too needs a conversation partner. A father too needs a guide, say a mentor sometimes. A father also needs somebody to just, you know, somebody to hug him. You know, and these are times where your husband just come in and all he wants is just a hug. So what makes a father, and what are your own thoughts? How would you define a great father? Because many men didn't have great fathers, and they don't even know how to be great fathers. They want to, they wish they could, but they just don't know how. So as mothers and people who are fairly informed, what do you think, what makes a great father? Maybe somebody can get some information today and become a better father going forward.
Yeah, so for me, I believe a great father is a man who has a vision, who knows where he wants to go. So I like the fact that you said it's not about money, because sometimes because of our insecurities and how life has treated most of us, we like to put money first. That's the first security we want to. So let him have money, let him have a good job, so that at least I know that I won't be hungry, we'll be able to feed the kids. But a man who's a visionary, who can say, this is where I see us in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, and works towards it with discipline, is a good father. A man who is deliberate about his actions, about his thoughts, about his words, about how he communicates to his partner, how he's intentional in relating to the children, how he doesn't just allow himself, after all, I did not receive any of this from my own parents, and you're not intentional about the kind of relationship that you have with your children. That is a great father. A man who is really intentional. We have young fathers who have said, we didn't grow up in a place where our fathers paid attention to us. But now we are relearning. We are learning how to become better people for our children and our spouse. A man who is really deliberate about being the head of his home, being the leader in his home, being the go-to when you think of the authority in that home, being that go-to. A man who would even, most of the time, suppress his own needs just to be able to, you know, show up for his family in the ways that he can.
Okay, let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Olabi, you're live.
Yeah. I don't really want to say much about the Father's Day, but a good father is inside of you. Is inside, because there are some fathers that even have it off and they are busy schedule, like this and that. There's a time for family. For me now, yesterday is my daughter's birthday, and still the Father's Day, so I have to take them out to the good beach after. Not that I have all the resources available, but I always decide my need for them always. My home can become second. Thank you. Have a good day, ladies.
Thank you very much, Olabi. So this was talking about fathers have to be visionary, deliberate, be leaders, intentional. These are all great attributes. What are your own thoughts on how, who's a great father?
For me, a great father is a man that understands that he's responsible for the life that has been given to him. You know, when you become a father, that means you have children, right? Or you have taken responsibility for a group of people. You might not be your biological children, and some are biologically yours. But once you've taken responsibility, a great father is a responsible person who understands that these people depend on me, and I will fight for them. I would stand for them. I would speak for them. I would defend them. I will be responsible for them. He's not perfect, you know, and he understands he's not perfect, but he's willing to stand in that gap. I think, and he's present. So being responsible is not about money, because sometimes being responsible means I will show up for you. That man said it, that yesterday was Father's Day, but it was also his daughter's birthday, and he took her out. It was that I'm going to show up for you. I'm going to be responsible. I would speak up for you. I would defend you. If I hear anything is happening to my children, I will go there. I can sacrifice my life for this person. Is
that not too much pressure from the father? Because we get... I mean, we know that's it's a good thing, but sometimes they feel that pressure, like everything is me. I have to be
No,
I
don't think it is one way. I think that if you ask me what a great mother is, I'll say exactly the same thing. I would say a woman who is responsible for the children, who would sacrifice for the children, who will stand and defend the children. Because really, what makes a good husband, or a good father or a good mother, is that ability to love, be responsible, make necessary sacrifice at the right time. And it's not perfection. It is not that ideal world. It might not even, you might have vision. You might not have vision. But if you are in that moment where we are, I've seen men that are not, that we don't like it, they cheated, they have multiple wives, they made several mistakes, and all their children will line up and say, he was a great father. Why? Daddy always had my back. Daddy always stood for me. Daddy always told me he loved me. And even though he's not perfect, we love Daddy. So that for me is very important.
Good morning, Anthony. Thanks for calling. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. And first things first, just to say congratulations to 10 years for yours. You also actually watching all of the ceremonies last week.
Thank you so much. I can hardly hear you, but go ahead. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, okay, I'll try and speak with my voice. So, just a quick one this morning. In terms of the topic of discussion today, a lot of people always say some people are daddies and some people are fathers. We're getting to what Father's Day. I believe a good father is one that understands what the responsibility of the father is, and that those responsibilities are being there for the entire family. I received a card yesterday from my two kids. One of the things that stood out to me.
I can't hear you, Anthony. It's totally, I can't even hear you at all. I'm so sorry.
Maybe he's too close to the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
So for me, it will be a father is a person who is present. It's so important. You know that I lost my dad at a very young age, and I also have a stepfather. And I know that just even knowing that I had someone that represents a father or is a father figure, just knowing that I can say, I'll report you to my father. That's my father. I know the confidence that he gave me. So it's important that a great father, is present. If he's present, he's also your protector. He does not even have to lift a finger. People just need to know that you have a father somewhere. Yeah. And already there's a way that they will treat you, because you have someone at home that could, however, but that could be anything, So he's present, he's your protector. And then there's something that a lot of fathers do. Many people don't see it, is that many great fathers are willing for you to not love them, not like them, hate them, but they will do what's best for you, in spite of how you see them. So they would sacrifice affection, they will sacrifice being there with you on a daily basis because they have to go out and make something for you so that you'll be well. They are willing for you to put all your love on the mother and not even realize what they are doing in the background to provide. It does not matter. For them, they realize this is my responsibility to take care of these people, however I do it, whether they end up knowing or appreciating or loving me. So that is a great father. He is willing to sacrifice of himself or anything just for the great, for the good of the family. A great father, I like where Tokwe went, that great fathers are not perfect fathers. They may not be perfect fathers. They may make mistakes as husbands, as bosses, as, even as fathers, they'll make mistakes, but they are willing to learn from it, willing to do better because they have seen, they are learning from it. They are constantly wanting to do only that protects their home, that protects their children. They nurture in their own way. They may not be there constantly holding you like a mother does, but they are also nurturing. They would notice some things, and where a mother is constantly hounding you, a father is more likely to just do something that makes you, like creates a situation that makes you now see it for yourself. So they understand it's not the constantly talking and shouting. I will give you an example. Like a mother, if you don't do something, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you pick up the plate? Why didn't you pick up the plate? The father is likely, at least some of the fathers I know, is likely, while you're sitting there and lounging, likely to pick up that plate. And is carrying it. Your whole body will be like, what's happening? And you are learning from that. So I just feel that fathers are amazing. Most of them are doing their best. And,
Some of the great examples of fathers I know, I think, is my father-in-law. You know, when I got married to my husband, and I used to see how he would be, like, we are constantly having meetings. Daddy is giving stories of what happened, you know, as a lecturer, what he's skipping sermons and talking. And I'll just say all the students sit around here and they're all listening. I'm thinking, guys, man, we've been here 1 hour. What's going on?
What's happening?
You know, they're all there listening with rapt attention. Initially, I was like, what is going on here? But then when I realized Mom sees they were all just there. I was like, okay, I just have to join the party. But sometimes I'll just use the examples, like just, you know. But what I learned from that, him sharing stories, it was someone like a sermon at the time. But it was sharing his values, the kind of decisions he made in the office, the kind of decisions he made to people, how he helped people, those people who angered him, how he responded to them. You know, he was just sharing stories. And those stories, actually, he was sharing over and over every time. They heard like 100 times. But he keeps reminding them of the same stories. Of this way. Once they hear the story, they know where he's going. But what I was hearing it for the first time, but they already knew the story. And we help them to understand, okay, how do I make decisions? What do I do? How do I see life? How do I understand what life throws at me? Those stories were so brilliant that it helped. Yes, it was present. So those are the things that shaped the kind of person Femi is today, the kind of values he holds so dear. The fact that he knows, you know, certain things he cannot do, certain things he cannot compromise on because of those stories, and he has it laid in his foundation. So fathers also, this is a format some people can take where your children, you're engaging your children, they are your gisting partner, especially when they start growing old and they are smart enough to understand you. You talk to them, let them know. When you have issues, difficult issues, run it by them, ask for their advice. Those are things that lay a foundation of the kind of people they become in future.
So my husband does that with the kids, and I noticed that the kids always get tired of the stories. So once he says, okay, Kosi, Kamdi, Emma, three of you sit down here, I have something to share with you. It's like, oh, but Daddy wants to start again. I would say, sit down there. We are all going to listen to this story. And he would share with them how he went through his life, his secondary school, his university, the mistakes he made, and everything. And we can be there for an hour, 30 minutes, because my husband likes to talk. And he will talk it well. And the kids, sometimes Kamdili is distracted, like, this man is disturbing me.
Well, it's going there.
Yes, I know it is, and I'm happy because I didn't have that. The kind of conversation I have with my father is, who look for your trouble? I'm coming to come and And I like where you went to, that a great father doesn't have to be perfect. So we have different kinds of human beings who also have different kinds of fathers. So for my father, he doesn't have time to be gisting you how to, in fact, he would ask you what happened. Okay, this person did this. This is how to deal with the person so that the person will not try it again, you know. But he gave me the confidence of the fact that I know that there's somebody backing me. You can't do anything to me. I was nearly abused at the age of 14 by his friend that came to the house. Till today, I didn't tell him. But I was able to scare the man away because I told him, I will tell my father. And the man knows his friend, that my father is not okay. So immediately I said, I will tell, if you touch me, I will tell my father. That ended that, you know. So in different ways and different forms, we just have to love them.
Until that Anthony is back. Good morning, Anthony. Hopefully we can hear you better this time around.
Good morning, all right.
Oh, much better. Yes.
Okay, good morning. I was just actually saying first to congratulate your view for 10 years.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
And you guys are doing an amazing and good job.
Thank you.
So, for the topic of this morning, I mean, I said it before, some people always say some people can be daddies, some people can be fathers. But it was Father's Day yesterday. I mean, for me personally, I think a good father is the one that understands what the responsibility of the father brings. That is looking after everyone and everyone in the family. I got a card from my 2 kids yesterday, and one of the things that stood out at the road was that, thanks, Daddy, for we see how you work hard every single day to provide and make sure everybody is taken care of and everybody is okay. Now, personally, I am divorced, but one thing that breaks my heart is when I see fellow men that are divorced that just walk away completely from the women and the children. I don't subscribe to that. No matter what the difference is between you and the woman, as a father, you must always understand and know that there are children that are there that need looking after, their priority, and they are number one. And this is me just sending that message to all those fathers that are there that think because things are not going on well between them and their ex, then it's an excuse to walk away from the children. You shouldn't do it, please. I beg them in the name of God. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Just the 7 of 7. My hands tonight on this social experiment called the 7 of 7 is Owen G. What is the name, or what was the name? You see, I want to make them better now.
Rockheart.
No, of the goats when they brought it on stage.
The name of that goat.
Yeah.
We should go there.
No, that one easy now.
I'm just drinking this so that I can ask him my own questions. It's not because of
Buga.
he didn't get it. You know, you people, you know. Okay. Mention 10 female stand-up comedians in Nigeria. See, just mention their stage name. If you annoy me, you will mention their real names and the year they started. And if you annoy me further, you mention the names of their husbands and the names of their children. Try me now. Okay, mention their name.
No, let's just.
No, wait. No, don't. No. Name, real name, stage name, husband name, children name. 10 of them.
Even the 10. That's a lot.
Eh?
That's a lot.
Did I cut your question for you?
Yes.
When you were happy now. With your hunchback.
That was it.
You are wasting time. We don't have time. See, my brother, before we go on a commercial break, you are stubborn. And I told you since. The fact that you play this your hair does not mean. You understand? See this bad hair you are looking at. It's experience. I've suffered before you.
But I try now.
When you there during the military era of Abacha and Babangida, you know what happened?
I be Gen Z.
So that Gen Z,
I call for
I will remove 4 out of 10.
That's like
4 out of 10 they passes. Don't drink this thing. Where baby you are on here. Drink out. If I land you.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, Joe, La General, the one and only Pere Egbe. Which of the following is false about teeth? We are born with 20 primary teeth. Teeth are the hardest substance in the body. Teeth are the strongest bones in the body.
Teeth is not a bone, actually.
Teeth can self-repair.
The strongest bone in the body, no. Teeth is not a bone.
Final answer?
Teeth is not a bone. You know what came to my head now? That sound. Crickets.
So, editor, you can put that cricket sound there. You can still put it down too.
When was the first Gulda ultimate search? Editor?
Don't put any cricket sound. I'm talking. Okay, Pere. How many times has Ghana qualified for the World Cup?
5 times.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing fathers, and we've not even discussed single fathers. There are men who actually do take of their children without the mother figure. Either maybe she passed on, they're divorced, and he has custody. These are men also that have to play mother and father to their children. I mean, I don't know any around me right now, but...
Well,
yeah.
I met my husband as a single father.
Oh, yeah. So you can give us an idea.
And I would tell you for sure, for easy, one of the things that made me consider being with him was how I saw him with his children. I was like,
Wow.
You got it.
I always tell people, I say I got expo on how he will be as a father. Many people don't know, they know how he will be as a husband, but never know how that person will turn as a father. But I saw it. I saw the conversation. It was different from what I have grown up with. So fathers will show up, do what they need to do, they go away, hardly engage them. And for me, because my father wasn't really there, there was that void. But I saw the way he was with the children, tell him nearly everything. I'm like, I dare not open my mouth, tell my mom this sort of thing. And you're having conversations about nearly everything with these children. So for me, I just felt, you know, that's the sort of person I would like to also father my children. And I am so happy with what he's doing. So at first also, having seen how he was with the older children, when I said having my children, I thought, he's doing it differently. How come he's not engaging them? And, you know, I'm like, you're sitting with these children, you're talking, but with this ones, he said, they are babies, what do you want me to say? Yes, they are rushing. And now, they try their existing, you know. And my daughter has got him wrapped around her little finger.
Not with that yesterday's move.
Let me take...
So I've seen, in his own case, I will not say he was both father and mother, because the mother is very much present and does her motherly role very well. But as a father, he's done a very good job with those children. And he gets lots, in fact, from outside, he gets lots of praise for what he's done. He's not a perfect father, but it's a father that is there, and he is, you know.
Let me take this call from Dr. Mark. Thanks for calling, sir. You're live.
Thank you. Wonderful team. Really appreciate it. I always enjoy watching. Yeah, concerning this news of Father's Day, I think I always start my day by appreciating all the more, because they always have fathers to be with. And we have issues around in our society because of perception.
Dr. Mark? Oh, we lost him. He was talking about society expects perfection from men, or something like that. I didn't hear.
So there's a... I want to talk about the discipline, the discipline part of a man. So a father, having a father. So someone tweeted, I think her name is Sarah Says Stop. He said, other women, nothing sexier than a dad holding a baby. He said, for me, nothing sexier than my husband using his thundering dad voice to threaten our children into behaving when I've abandoned all hope. I connected with this, you know, because sometimes you will be saying, they will not hear, and he will just come in, and he will just say, sit down, and everybody will sit down. I'm like, okay, I've been trying to get them to eat food. I'm like, they don't eat fish, but I want to say, don't worry, put the fish on the table. He will sit down with them, and everybody, they will eat the fish. I'm like, what is it? How does he get them to do?
So with my own husband, it just has to be around.
And they will just comply.
Everybody
you know?
comply.
So, and there's been a strong statistics that shows the presence of having a father in the home and having a more disciplined, well-rounded children, having a father in the home, and the girls being more confident, being able to deal with sexual advances better, a present father, let me qualify. And there are even many statistics that prove that the presence of a father helps in shaping the men in the house into being better boys when they grow up. So the role of a father cannot be simplified into provider. Because being a provider is the lowest level of what a father is doing. And there are many fathers who have stepped up in providing that support. You know, we go to school now, and many fathers are doing school runs. It wasn't usually like that. You see lots of men doing drop-off and doing pick-up, and it's a normal thing. PTA, you see men. And I really need to celebrate all fathers who are making the sacrifice to attend to those activities.
Let me take this call back. Dr. Mark came back. Good morning, Dr. Mark, again.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, good to have you back. You were saying?
Yeah, I hope it's clear now.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking about the societal perception about men, and somehow I always first appreciate the women, the moms in the house, because they help to give a better picture of who a man should be to the boys, just like they do for the girls. So when you have homes and environments where the picture they paint about a man to the boy is faulty, you can be sure that he may likely be a wrong father. And there are cases where the parents themselves, the man and the woman, could not do well to give a better picture of who a man should be, or rather a boy from a boy to a man and from a man to a husband and then to his father. So for me, I do appreciate my mom who helped us to appreciate our father and who, at the end of the day, helped us to also become better father. Even though my father gave a picture that it took me time to understand that was because of his profession. He doesn't interact with babies easily. He looks at them as a baby cause because he felt if he handles them, we may squeeze them. So I thought that father should be handling babies. It took me time to overcome that. I'm just trying to say there are perceptions that fly around our society.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr.
Mark. Let's just talk about this baby thing because honestly, I think in the first, I don't remember anymore because I've not had babies in the past 7 years. But my husband was a diaper changing pro. Wow. As in, I think by about 6 to 2 months was already bathing. We could bathe the kids. Wow. I would just he would handle them and. I don't know why it wasn't normal. I didn't know it was not a normal thing, but I just expected that he was going to do it, and he did it. And I later found out that not all men.
I can tell you that my husband, I'll say, never ever change one diaper or bath one child. He's like, he doesn't even know what's going on in that department. Once the child is ready, let me carry the one. You know, but diaper, Mama has never changed one diaper. I can say it on TV. He has never changed any diaper.
My own husband is a night nurse. At night when you need to sleep, he's sure that he's up holding that baby so that you can sleep until you wake up.
You guys have amazing experiences. My husband went to the guest room so
that you can take care of the baby.
And he carried to guest room. But so we have different experiences.
Yes, we do. And it's okay for the experiences to be different so that people don't sit down back home and then they are looking at the man that you cannot even do diaper, you cannot even carry the baby, you know. We all came from different backgrounds. Right. It's okay to also have different experiences and different expectations. And I believe that a great father, one of the things you do is to create your own culture, to identify what you want for your family. And that's why you must, first of all, have a vision for what you want for that family. Then create the culture that works with your strengths. So it amplifies your strengths. You know what you are supposed to be doing and you show up and do it, even in the little ways. So if Tokpe's husband cleans diaper and you can cook, it's not a big deal. You can do the one you can do. If you cannot even do any one, and you are not that type, like my husband cannot cook, cannot boil water, that's the fact. But I'm okay with him because when it comes to shared responsibilities with the kids, he takes up, he nurses my baby, he will back them, he will wake up in the night, he will do the diaper and all of that. But he can't enter the kitchen. So if I don't give him what to eat, he will starve. Or now that he can afford to buy food, he will buy food, right? So I'm not going to judge him because he doesn't do that aspect. I know Tokpe's husband cooks very well. So create your own culture and what works with you. The idea is to model the right values to the children. The young men would see what you do in the home, and then it gives them an idea of how they are to be. And one of the reasons we have a lot of men who are not really organized in that sense is because they didn't see it being modeled to them. And I also want to appeal to the men. You know, today is your day. We're hailing all of you to try also to read and learn. So don't think this is how it was with my father's father, that is how it's going to be for life. You can try and make some little steps according to what you need.
Very few minutes left. Like, who can a father lean on? You know how men, you know how he's talking to their wives. In certain areas, you don't feel like I can talk to my wife. They just need another male figure. But many of them find it difficult to
open up.
So who do you think, or who can we advise a father listen to us, right? Who can they talk to? Maybe he's an orphan, doesn't have any father figure. How do they open up to share their burdens? Is it they go to their pastors? Many husbands don't like to go to any pastor.
They don't.
Many fathers, some do.
I think that you need to, I listened to Bishop T.D. Jakes' Father's Day message yesterday. You need to see men crying in the church. And when I saw them, I was like, a lot of men have a lot.
Bottled
Yes. And so what the bishop did was to give them the opportunity to let it go. He cried. As he was preaching, it was like he was saying, and as everybody else was feeling like, we can come to the Father. That was what we were saying. That your Father in heaven is waiting. And no matter how far you think you have gone, whenever you come, He will set a party and wait for you. I think it starts from people getting a spiritual, all our men need to build a spiritual relationship. Not religion, no, not spiritual connection with God. Because sometimes if you cannot unburden to anybody, you can unburden to Him. It starts with that. And there are communities that are supporting men right now. And men should drop it's a open space. I remember Lanre Olushola did a program for men, and I think I've seen one with Feladro Tuyetu, the program that brought in men on demand. Pastor Niya Adesoyatu did something like that.
So that's on the Christian
faith that are bringing. No, the Lanre Olushola was not it wasn't a Christian thing, but it was just allowing men share their own, and we should let men, like Bisi said. We want to appeal to men. It's heavy to carry this burden. You're carrying a load.
So I don't know if the word should be a trap. So the trap would be they are supposed to be the protector. They are supposed to be the leaders. So how do you now come to the person that you are supposed to be leading and protecting and showing your vulnerability? They are afraid, not for themselves, even to worry you even more, you know. I know that some people have close relationship with their fellow men where they can tell each other the truth. But with men, you know, they don't cry and they would yab each other on things like that, but they're still encouraging each other, you know, in those ways. So men definitely need to have a support system. Right. They need to have friends that they can support. I like the Christian part. I don't know for our Muslim brothers, you know, what they do, but I know that men have communities where they go and they talk, talk things out. You know, we talk about men hanging out and drinking. Maybe if they realize that, I know it's a community in that drinking, but can we take out the alcohol? Because it affects a lot of other things and just have that community.
All right, we have to wrap up on this, but I think it's also noteworthy to just say Happy Father's Day again to all our fathers out there, to all the men out there. We appreciate the work you do. The children appreciate the work you do. We appreciate the work you've done for our own fathers who are still alive. God bless you. And let's go on a break now. When we come back, on to our Let's Talk segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas. It shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Thanks for staying with us. So, joining us on the show right now is the youngest lawmaker in the 10th House of Representatives, 29-year-old Hon.Akarachi. He will be speaking with us on how he was able to pull this remarkable feat at his age. Good morning, Honorable Okachi. Are you there?
Good morning. The name is Akarachi Amadi.
Thank you, Akarachi. Thanks for that correction. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we were so elated to find out that we have a young Nigerian being part of the lawmakers in our country. This is a good development. Tell us a bit about the story, the background story to achieving this laudable feat.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. Well, the background story is just, it has to do with the vision that I had at a very young age. I didn't know what position I was going to run for, but I knew I wanted to serve my country. And I did all I could to prepare myself. I tried to be my best in everything that I found myself doing. And well, for this particular election, I would have to first and foremost be grateful to the House of the, I think that was the 8th Assembly that passed the Not Too Young to Run bill. That without that bill, I would not have been eligible to contest for the Federal House of Representatives in 2023. And also, I think I would say the love for my country. Something happened when I just got married in 2019. My wife was, she was pregnant at the time, and with almost, it was like a normal practice that once you have money, that your family should go abroad to give birth. And I told her, no, that we're going to give birth in Nigeria. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. Unfortunately, I had baby, and 3 days after, he passed. You know, and this was I was in one of the best hospitals in Benin, but it was a private hospital. But when there were some complications, they were referred to UBTH Benin. You know, and I would say it was a wake-up call for me that, look, it's not a matter of how much money you have as a Nigerian. It's not a matter of how much contact you have, but there's actually a Nigerian problem that you have to try your best to fix. You know, so I was determined that I was going to run for elective office. I was going to run for the office of the House of Representatives, and I was going to try my best to put forward some good legislation that will help our public sector, especially in healthcare, to do better, because I don't see any other option for me other than Nigeria. Right. I don't see myself, and thankfully since then I've had two beautiful babies, and all in Nigeria, and all doing well. So I believe in the Nigerian project, and I don't want to just be a bystander. I want to play my part in making sure that this Nigerian project works.
All right, we'll get a few more questions in for you.
Your story is so touching,
I feel that I shared the story this morning in the makeup room about my mom losing her children before she had me in the hospital to Nigerian hospital syndrome. And so just hearing you, I just feel so connected with your story, and I'm happy that you have a testimony after that. I'm also happy that you chose to do something about your experience. But we know Nigerian politics. It is an expensive journey. Yes. It is a place where you're supposed to already have track record, or your dad or mom. So can you be honest with that side of your story? How did you get to be, how did you even get to contest?
Get the ticket.
To get the tickets?
Okay, thank you. I think I'll put it to God and hard work. Let me start from my parents. My parents have never held any political office before, not councillor, not any appointment whatsoever. But I have always been interested in politics. I'm an engineer by profession. But to shock you to know that even in my SS2 days, I was the only science student that was doing government and literature. Yeah, this was how interested I was with government and governance. For the ticket, I chose the platform of the APC because for me, it was an APC legislator that gave us that not too young to run bill. You know, I remember when the then president was signing that bill into law, he said, yes, this bill is good, but please, it should take effect after my re-election. You know, it was on a lighter note. You know, but I was happy that in the shortest possible time that an APC government came on board, that they were able to put such a bill that would give us, the young ones, an opportunity to get into the mainstream politics. Yes, politics is very expensive, and by God's grace, I was blessed to have made a lot of money at a very young age. I might be young, but I have a lot of experience, being that I entered secondary school as an 8-year-old. So I was done with secondary school early. I entered university. I was done in my university at 21. So I had a lot of time between 21 and 28 when I won the election. You can see that that is about 7 years. 7 years is a lot of time. If you're in my industry, I'm in oil and gas upstream. So I was able to make a lot of money, keep that aside, and I was able to introduce myself to my people. It's not about money. A lot of people that I contested with had more money than me, but for me, I had that bond with my people where I was always connecting with them. They were only seeing me. I think I was one of the first lawmakers or first people that was campaigning for federal house that did not go to the 24 wards. I went to the 63 autonomous communities. I went to see every traditional ruler. I went to see every youth president, 63 of them. I went to see every woman leader. I went across party lines. I didn't believe that if you are doing something, you must do it for just your party. I believed in you are going to represent people. The party is just a vehicle. So why, because you are contesting an election, should you now put aside every other party member? So I ran a very inclusive and robust campaign that saw me go to every single market, saw me go to primary schools. The primary schools pupils, they are not going to vote for you. But for me, I know the impact that my primary school left on me. So I didn't want to just stop at where I was going to get immediate votes. I went to where I could actually give inspiration to these young ones growing up that, look, just do your best. I was a product of the primary school system, and look at me here.
Let me get a few questions more in for you.
Yes, so congratulations, you're very young to be in the House, but the question is, how do you plan to give your people quality representing? I'm sure you've studied what happens in the House, how the laws are passed. How do you plan to be above board? How do you plan to do it in such a way that you will be recognized and your bills would, be accepted or make sense? What are your plans?
All right, thank you. For me, age has nothing to do with capacity. I have been able to prove that in my business sector over the years, and I will take that experience also to the public sector. The House of Representatives is a collaborative space. You cannot pass a bill on your own. you need the buy-in of your fellow legislators. You need the buy-in of majority of the people that are sitting in that plenary. So I have set up a robust team led by my senior legislative aide, barrister of over 30 years post-bar experience. I have interfacing with my people to make sure that the bills that are passing are bills that would give my people immediate relief. And I have that network. For instance, we're in a group called the Young Parliamentarians Forum in the National Assembly, where about 43 of us that are under 40. And that is one of the groups that we want to leverage on to make sure that we have a reasonable number of us that are pushing for bills that are going to take care of the gap that we are facing as youths, take care of the gap that we are facing as what I would call people that are critical stakeholders in this country. So for the bills, we need collaboration, and that collaboration, we have been working on those collaboration. For representing my people, it is about feeling the pulse of the people and trying your best to bridge that gap, be it with bills, be it with attracting projects, be it with attracting government intervention. But you are here to represent the people, you're not here to represent yourself. So you must realize and recognize that the wishes and the will of the people comes first over your own private interest.
Okay, let me go on a break. When we come back, we continue our conversation with you. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abby?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay.
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I'll drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink. Huh? No problem.
Okay.
I've always known this as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be,
yeah. I just said, look, I give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Sony.
Drink!
I'm not done. You did not say final answer.
Final answer.
You did not ask me if that was my final answer.
You don't have any choice again. It's only
Nikon.
How many cameras do they have?
Nikon.
My friend to drink. I gave you a very easy something.
Nikon now. Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Gbenga Adeyinka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Gbenga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the questions.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata, I go drink. So.
Okay. So now one chance for enter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? I think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. my friend, drink. I know.
I don't overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink him.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalking.
That's good walking.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
Subterfuge.
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 So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become such. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or...
I promise you, it was actually a mistake. Like it was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just went that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the part of the show where I really have a lot of fun. Why? I'm highly competitive. I'm not going to ask you regular questions. With me, I'm not well. So you're going to be as nuts as I am today, yes?
Ready.
Alrighty. Sorry. Can you put it down here, please? King Dion versus Tom. Oh, thank you. See all the Lee Kuku things you do. They make me. Oh no. Who said this?
I'm not going to every day. Closer. Girl, I want to make you closer.
Okay.
Oxalating closer.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much fun have you had on the show?
11, 10.
11?
10, yes.
11? Now we're going to terminate the show. Please, my producer, this is where we're cutting it. Cameraman, cut it. You don't cut. Okay, I'm just kidding.
The hottest music videos.
Check it out. Let's go.
Topping the charts. Right here on the Max World Chart Show.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have our guest, Honorable Amadi, with us. Mariam had a question.
Okay, so whether we like it or not, being so young would, comes with some advantages, I believe. So you are going to be bringing in like new perspective. And I'm wondering, what would you say will be your first few priorities, or the very one priority when, when you start off?
Well, thank you very much. One of my first agendas for the Legislative House is to pass bills that will strengthen the labor market. I believe that we have a lot of underemployment going on, and for me, if I was one of those that wanted to rely on getting a white-collar job, maybe I would not have been here today employing over 250 people. So we have to realize that we must strengthen the small businesses to thrive. We have to realize that we must make funding available for the small businesses. We need to realize that we must give them a safe space. I'm very interested in strengthening the Local Context Act that will not only ensure that jobs that can be done by local companies are done by local companies, but also to create some funding or access to funding for these our local companies to actually operate on that scale, because there's no difference between what can be manufactured here and what can be manufactured outside the country. It's just the access to funds, access to bring in the best machineries, access to bring in expatriate staff when needed, and access to train and transfer such technology down to our indigenous Nigerians. So my key focus is on making sure that there are lots of employment opportunities through small and medium scale industries. Another key thing for me is education. I have to be very, very honest that the youths have lost the interest in or have no hope in the education system. Because they feel that you go there, you invest a lot of time, a lot of years, and at the end of the day, you come out and people that didn't go to school, people that were not as qualified are doing better. So I'm happy with the student loan bill that was signed into law by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's going to actually solve a lot of problems with those that want to go to school and they might not be able to afford that. So now we have people that can have access to this loan to actually go to school. So my core interests are that of the small and medium businesses and that of the youth.
All right.
Okay, so what more should we expect from you? So aside from, you have mentioned the very heavy things, talking about the labor markets, focusing on local content, you're talking about education. Do you have other things that may be lighter, that may seem easier to pass into a bill compared to these very huge ones that you have, highlighted?
I don't think they're heavy.
Okay, so I said you have...
I think they're very critical.
Okay. Yes, they're critical, yes. But do you have... so I know, like, some of these critical bills...
There's a process.
Take a longer time. There are a lot of stakeholders involved in this. It's not something that may just happen. But do you have things in the immediate that may be community located that could still be critical enough for you to want to put your input?
Like something really close to Imo State.
Close to home, yes.
Yeah, close to home. Maybe because of the capacity that I have exhibited before the elections, I've been handling a lot of that even without being in government office.
Okay.
Once I've been able to attract a lot of roads to my federal constituency, I attracted and made sure that they completed about 12.5 kilometers of asphalt roads in my federal constituency. I have been sponsoring over 1,000 people in federal universities in my federal constituency. So a lot of things I've already put that framework, that collaborative effort between the agencies and my constituents to make sure that I get as much as I can for my constituency. So being in this office, I would say I'm after making sure that things that work. Because for instance, I used to live in Benin. So if I focus on bills that just surround my federal constituency of Mbitoli and Ikedo, what about those people that from Mbitoli and Ikedo that don't stay back at home? You know, so I want to be more broad-minded. I want to be more inclusive in the bills that I put forward to see how they can reach the majority of Nigerian youth, because other than my federal constituency, I also represent the youth constituency.
Okay. All right, one of the key issues many Nigerians have, in fact, the perception Nigerians hold concerning the National Assembly is that they are eating all our money. You know, when you hear people on the streets, oh, they get fat salaries, you know, or, you know, these are cliche questions, but the truth is that since you are just new going into the National Assembly, before you now go and enter all the mixing, tell us, would you be willing to share with us or clear the air on those gray areas Nigerians are always asking about? Because every Nigerian always feels as if once you enter the National Assembly, it's 30 million naira a month you earn, you have all these fat salaries, and you don't think about Nigerians anymore. So far, you've been there just less than a week, or in about a week. What have you heard? What have you seen? What are they saying? What does your letter say? The letter say that you're earning 50 million a month?
Well, thank you for that. For now, there's been no word on what we would earn, but I have to tell you that the cost of governance in the National Assembly has reduced drastically. I will tell you this from the colleagues that were there in the night assembly. The official car that was given to National Assembly members then was a Toyota Camry. The average salary and all entitlements that was given to the National Assembly member then was, I think it was under 10 million naira a month. So I don't know what it would be for the 10th Assembly, but if you look at someone that has to operate a constituency office back at home, someone that has to employ staff for the constituency office, someone that has to do projects at home, someone that has to travel to do oversight functions to make sure that the relevant agencies under his constituency, under his committee are actually working in line with their establishment principles and the terms of reference, then I don't think that it's a lot. So anybody that is coming into the National Assembly expecting to make a lot of money, I think the person is clearly mistaken. We are here to serve. We are here to make sacrifices. For me, I know what I was earning outside before now doing my business, and I know that, in fact, my highest paid staff, I paid the person 5 million naira monthly. So it's not an issue of money, it's more about sacrifice.
Okay, so I hear you, and before the 10th Assembly was sworn in, we had, what would I call it? We had the pictures. We saw pictures and videos of offices being emptied out. And I don't know, last week I read in papers that they had not even allocated offices to a few new lawmakers. So have you gotten your own office? Would you be furnishing the office by yourself, or there's going to be a budget for furnishing? We even know, we've heard some things, that there's this money that they just give when people become lawmakers. It just comes like this, bam. And these are like
I have not seen or heard of such money. What I'll tell you is no member of the 10th Assembly has allocated offices. I think the offices that are statutory are the office of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker, and I'm sure they have assumed those offices. The other ones would be allocated with due time, because you had the 9th House that just expired 2 weeks ago. So you need to give those people time to move out their things. You need to give the maintenance of the National Assembly time to go and maintain the offices. then before they are now allocated to the members.
Honorable Amadi, we have very
no
few.
member has in their offices, but I'm very sure in due time we'll get our officers.
Honorable Amadi, we have very few moments left. I wanted to just ask for a favor, if you can be like our inside man in the National Assembly, because you know you are new, you are fresh blood, you've not entered the system yet. Maybe there are some things you can tell us. So we want to have access to you. Just give us information. As you're entering like this, do you see furniture? There's no furniture. How many fridges there? Just be telling us what's going on. So that because we need information. Because it's such a sealed group. Nobody tells anything. Once you enter like this, as if they're all packed. You cannot say what you see. So we need you to be committed to the ladies of your view and be giving us information as you are entering that National Assembly. Can we depend on your commitment, our informant? Can we depend on your commitment, sir?
Yes, committed to the running an open and inclusive stewardship to our country, and that includes briefing members of the press. So I assure you that anytime you need me, I'll be available. All information I will share would be true, except they are classified. Maybe I get into a committee that has to do with national security, then I cannot share certain information on air. So, but I assure you that you'll be hearing from me.
Sure. So I have no doubt you do very well, because this your first response to our very dicey question. You have given us a very Nigerian political answer. But I would like to hear your views on the recent, tension. Tension has sort of abated, I'm hoping. We now have a new speaker and deputy speaker. What's your view on the people that were chosen, and how do you plan on working with them? And did you have any prior relationship with them outside? Of course, I know you're just coming in, but did you ever have any prior relationship with them, or do you know anything about them before, joining the 10th Assembly yourself?
Well, thank you. I would have to say that I'm very excited at the choice of the speaker that we voted for and the deputy speaker that we voted for. They are both exceptional gentlemen that have achieved a lot. They are both relatively young, and for them to be in the House and to have pushed out the number of bills that they have pushed out, I think they're exceptional people. For us as new members, don't forget that new members, we are about 2/3 of the House right now. We have 270 new members coming in. So it's a fresh House that will have a lot of fresh ideas. But it's good to have people with experience that can drive this 10th House. And I think they have the right experience. I think they have the right open door policy. I feel they have the right consultation, because you can imagine a speakership aspirant that went to consult with every state caucus. That means he saw the members from the 36 states of Nigeria, went to consult further in the zonal caucuses, Southeast, South-South, and he was able to make all of us feel that, look, this 10th Assembly is about inclusiveness. It's not about political parties. It's not about your zone that you're from. It's about the Nigerian project. And for all of us, we keyed into that Nigerian project, and we're going to give the Speaker and Deputy Speaker all the needed support that they need to make sure that we move the country forward, and we partner very well with the executive while also checkmating their powers.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Akarachi, for joining us this morning. We appreciate your presence. As I said, we'll be keeping in touch with you, hopefully giving us information as we need. Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's a pleasure, and congratulations again for joining the 10th Assembly.
Thank you. God bless you.
That's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.